Hi Stampin' friends, tonight we're going to use the Peace on Earth bundle. It has these great sentiments which can be used for a variety of different things. They're very good for Christmas, of course, with the peace on earth, the sending peace, love, and joy, that kind of thing. But it also has some like with deepest sympathy, heartfelt prayers, and big hugs for a good friend, and then wishing you all the best in your new adventure. So for some other possibilities as well. Now this is not available right now. So it is available in the new catalog for fall and winter, and well, fall in North America, September through December, I don't know. Anyway, demonstrators get to see it July 30th, and then we get to pre-order August the 5th or 6th, and then you guys will get to order then in September. So the reason I wanted to show you this now, I think it's definitely one that you might want to put on your list. It has beautiful papers, also for any occasion. We use this for the demonstrator only creativity now. So if you love this, I'd be happy to have you on my team. This is like a little hydrangea or maybe a snowball bush look. The back side has stars on it. I don't know if you can see those. Yeah, there we go. And two of the pieces have the matching, I guess you'd say, doves on them. And then the back side is just a, you know, whatever, kind of a crumb cake kind of look. And then this one has two birds facing each other with, again, peace, you know, like from Noah's Ark, the little branch in their mouths. And then this is a nice floral, tiny floral. And then we have this, it's kind of like a little date palm or something. I don't know, it's got little plants, little berries in it. And then this is more of a grid pattern, like a, you would say a plaid, I guess, but it's really just a grid. Then this one has like a little, maybe like a Queen Anne's lace type, but like a kind of a wiry little plant. Backside, nah, just kind of a muckle-de-dung. And then this backside, cloud cover. But this side is kind of a little bit holly printish and has a variety of colors. Now, those are the papers that are in the Peaceful Garden. So, and then the other bundle is called Peace on Earth that I chose. The first thing I'm going to show you are the things that we made in the Creativity Now. This is a box made of the, whether you want to call it hydrangea or snowball bush paper. And it was very simple to make. And it's easy to open. Now Stampin' Up! Had a ribbon wrapped around it, but I wanted to show you the inside, so I did not put the ribbon back around it. There is a lot of ribbon this year that is, that would go with this. You could have the, what do you call it? The really pretty Secret Sea, or you could use the ribbon that goes with this, or there's also a Misty Moonlight ribbon that would be great with it as well. So many possibilities there. The set itself has a little stem, and then that's a big stem, I guess you'd say, and then this smaller stem that come with it. And then these are gorgeous. They are called Hues of Blue Flowers. So they're all flowers. I think the white ones could look like snowflakes if you wanted them to. And they are in the Secret Sea, the Misty Moonlight, the cloud cover, and the white. These, I mean, I feel like I've really used them, and look how many are still left. So I think it will be a lot of fun to play with. Okay, so that's that little guy. I'll put it back here, the table. And then this was another of them. It also has this pretty glimmer paper. So in Secret Sea, the really dark, almost black blue, in Cloud Cover, and in Misty Moonlight, or, you know, I could be tempted to call this afternoon, Azure Afternoon. It's kind of a little brighter than the Misty Moonlight. And so this card has heartfelt prayers. All of the things are glued down except this is popped up on dimensionals, and the sending love is like a little pullout. It's just kind of cute. And I would just want to make sure that my recipient knew what the deal was there so that they didn't miss out on that. But it's just a super cute little card. We also made this card, which has a little bit of twine on it. And I put some different embellishments. I think the embellishments that are from the citrus last year look great on there. These are the, what are they called? I can't read it through there. Opal Rounds Assortment. So that's a navy, but I thought it looked really nice on there. And then we also have these coming up, the Charming Shimmer Faceted Dots. This is an online exclusive that is available now, and they are in Petal Pink, Petunia Pop, and possibly Secret Sea, possibly Misty Moonlight, just a dark blue. Maybe it's Night of Navy. But this is such a simple card to do. The only thing that's different about it than what you can just see, it has a little bit of sponging with the sponge brushes, and then each of these is torn. Like one side is torn off. So you cut a little longer than you need and tear it down to where you would want the edge to be, just to give it a little interest. So those are a lot of fun. And then this card was just amazing. I loved how it looked. It has, of course, the Peace on Earth. It has some of the cloud shimmer paper. It has, this is the embossing folder done in Misty Moonlight. This is the beautiful ribbon that is part of the suite. It is soft and pretty and has a silver edge on it. You can see that. And the way this is made, you cut it kind of part way across here. You're just putting it in the embossing folder, not filling the embossing folder as shown here with the with this one. It's showing that you've filled it. This is just part of it. And it is on a piece of 12 by 12 paper. And so you can see there the inside is very pretty. And then you do a little more of the sponge brushing and put your dove inside. So I think that is a really pretty card, but you know, it has to be for someone that's going to appreciate it because it's a ton of putting together and work, but just so beautiful for Christmas. So the thing that I wanted to do was to kind of touch on that and then make something similar but yet different. So I used all the same pieces just about, except I put my embossing folder in and I used the Secret Sea. Then I also wanted to kind of talk about, I really think it will add quite a bit if you add some Wink of Stella randomly around on your embossing folder. So let's see here if I can get it. I'm going to just put it on here, and you wouldn't necessarily have to do the entire thing. What I was kind of imagining doing was putting it on maybe the corner pieces. Like what I've done here is just put it on this corner. Let's see if you can see the shiny. I'm not sure, right down here. So I've put some Wink of Stella in each corner. So I've got my Misty Moonlight ink, and I'm going to find my Peace on Earth. ink it up, and then put it right down here in the bottom. These are not perfectly aligned. So you want to think about, when you're doing this, the piece needs to be straight, and the earth can do whatever it wants because it's so curly. So if it goes up or down or whatever, you know, it's all connected. But if the piece is straight, then the earth will be, you know, whatever happens, happens, I guess you'd say. Okay, so I want to get it down far enough that I don't have too much trouble with it. The first time I did this, I did not have the piece very straight. So that's what I'm straightening up against the side here, against this side, and then making the piece perpendicular to it. And centering as best I can. Hopefully this will, all my talking will make sense. So see what I'm saying? The piece is centered, the piece is straight, but the earth is just kind of doing whatever. It's just very curly there. Okay, so we did that. I'm gonna take my little, do the underside there. And I'm just gonna add around the top just a little bit of color. Now you can spend as much time on this as you want. I liked having a little bit across the piece, but if you don't, that's fine too. And remember, the middle is going to be covered with our piece of glimmer paper, our cloud covered glimmer paper. So there's not a huge need to put ink on the center there. Okay, I kind of call that good. And then you can see I'm just going to stick this right in the middle there. All right. Just kind of get that centered. Maybe a little scooch that way. There we are. I don't think I need to close that. I think it's going to be used again really soon. So, okay, I'm going to put that aside, and then I'm going to put this on my card. Base, like that. Hope I have it fairly straight. Right there, I think. And then this on here. Oops. A little smush. And then I made a bow with that beautiful ribbon, and I thought that would look cute at the bottom. And you can pull on it a little bit, get it a little more even, that kind of thing. I may not have cut my little tails quite even, but anyway, you'll get it eventually. Just gonna take a glue dot, pop it right down there, and then add that. Then I'm ready to put my dove on. Now I did kind of fluff the wings just to give them dimension, the feathers. Just kind of add a little bit of movement, and then just kind of put that on. I'm going to get a dimensional here. I'm going to use a small one because, again, I don't want to go across the places that are sort of moving. I don't know if they're not actually moving, but I don't want to stick them completely down if they're supposed to be. All right. And maybe you want to put it not right under the face. Let me see. I was trying to move this down just a little. Not right under the face so that you can glue down the pretty little, this little guy, because I'm afraid if we don't glue that part down, this is going to get lost or something, because it is so pretty and delicate that I think that could become an issue. So hopefully everything is good with my little squeezy. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to put some glue under the bird's head. Stick that down, and it may take a minute, but okay. Then I'm going to put it right on the end of the beak, and then on each of the leaves that I can get to, and just a tiny bit. So you can see here why I'm using this. You could certainly use an adhesive sheet, but I'm more of this type crafter myself, just sticking it down. So then if you want to, you can just take something heavy, doesn't have to be super heavy, and just kind of hold it down, and then you'll be all set. But there you can see my simplified version of Stampin' Up's beautiful card. It was very beautiful, but I feel like this is so simple, and you could make several. You could cut both pieces of this and trim them in half, or a little less than half, or you could take this and just run it across a piece of paper that's about this wide, and that might be the more efficient and glimmer paper saving way of doing it. So, all right, let's move along to the next one. Okay, on this card, I was kind of thinking, well, what will we do to use these stars that come with it? Okay, let me talk about what comes with it here. I've shown you the different things, but I haven't shown you there is a die that cuts out 3 stars, which is wonderfully replicated in this paper, or this replicates what's in the paper. And so this die, when you cut out the glimmer paper with it, I think it's just very striking. It would also be beautiful if you just put the star on a blue background and, you know, used your card that way, did some stamping, you know, possibly with another set. But what I wanted to do was show you it with this, and still using our same dove. Now here I embossed the embossing folder on the cloud cover paper, and then this, our card base and our layer here, are in Misty Moonlight. Then this is our paper. You know, it's hard to sacrifice this beautiful paper. You could also make this a normal times card, you know, non-Christmas card, and pop a happy birthday on there. But I was wanting to show this pretty background here. Another thing I've seen people do that was on the thing, you could cut this center part out, you know, this line here, and put these things, both of them actually, on the inside of the card. So another possibility there. Let's see, what else was I going to talk about that? Oh, here we go. You could also just use another color of paper here. Instead of repeating the color, use the Secret C and have that in the center. So that way you'd use all 3 colors of blue. So let's just go ahead and pick something. I'm not sure that it necessarily matters that much. It might be pretty to use the same one here, so that's what I've kind of decided on. Just gonna put that there, and it won't take much to stick this down. You could do a variety of different things with your beautiful blue and silver ribbon. You could run it across under here, any place here, add a bow at the bottom. You know how we like to wrap it underneath and then tie the small little piece there. That would also be pretty. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try 2 different sizes. Oh, I wanted to mention this. I was cutting this and I got a little edge. It didn't quite cut the entire size of the circle. A lot of times you get angry, you throw those out because you're like, oh, it didn't work. But you could also tuck it under and use it as, you know, like balance, you know, like maybe you're going to do this on a card. Or you could put your sentiment on it and tuck the part that is, you know, messed up under there. And number 1, no one will know. And number 2, you've saved a little bit of paper. Another thing you could do is also just cut a smaller size circle, and then no need to just throw that away. All right, so now I'm going to stamp Sending Love on this small one here to consider putting it on there. I've got to find love. There we are. Gotta find love. That's hilarious. Okay, so you know I have to do this upside down, even though, just because that's hard for me to see otherwise. I'm stamping love at the bottom. Not the bottom, but you know, as low as I can and get it all on there, on the circle. And then I'm gonna stamp the sending on top of it, just kind of, you know, it's not really, these are not perfectly centered. They're just kind of abstract, kind of there. See, sending love, like that. Okay, so now I'm going to adhere this to my card. I might want to use some dimensionals. Man, I have a weird stack of dimensionals here. Okay, I'll just use these guys to get rid of this, because what a mess. I put one right in the center. And then I'm going to use, do you guys use these extra pieces here? I always use all of the edges and every piece that I can on dimensionals, just so that I use them all up. And I do try to do it on something like this where it's the full card back, where no one is looking under it, like so that they can't see that that's what I've done. But anywho, I do like to use them. All right, so I'm just gonna put this on. Oops, go up just a little bit, but just a tiny scooch. There we are, so you can see that. And then I'm gonna put this layer on. I think I'm gonna pop it up on dimensionals. So my point of getting this out was to show you I'm gonna go across here, kind of like that. And then just kind of angle that in so it doesn't show. And then center that. There we are, onto that. And then tuck under here with the sending love. So just kind of add that. Get it straight there, sorry about that. Okay, sending love. And then I wanted to put, now you could put either bird. I mean, you could put, like if you were going to put it on this side, you might put this bird. You could also put both of them on there. So I may play with that later. But in order to finish this off, I think I'm just going to use the single bird that I had here. Just kind of put her right there. And I am going to stick her down on her face and then fluff her feathers just a little bit. And pop it maybe right there. She looks like she's coming in for a landing. And then I'm gonna need I'm gonna put this right on her beak. And then I'm gonna put just little dots on her, on the branch. I may not have gotten enough. I think I better I'll get some off her beak there. That end. Because I want it to be well stuck so that it doesn't come off and get lost. I'm just kind of putting that across there. You could angle it up or down. So I probably should have angled this one down. I think you'd have been able to see it better. And then this is in a very straight and very neat. So what I'm gonna do with this little glimmer paper star is put it right over one, because I think that that will help it to look more like it's coordinated with the paper that it's on. So you don't have to get it perfect, but just to kind of give it a little extra. Now at this point, you could also instead put these iridescent gems. They would look pretty on there as well, maybe down by the sending love. But I think I'm gonna use these guys from the Charming Shimmer Faceted Dots. because I like how they're kind of small. And I like how they have the shimmer because we have a lot of shimmer on this. I'm just putting them in some kind of a little tiny triangle to finish off my card. So there you can see sending love. And I think that makes a cute Christmas card. Or any, you know, you could leave off the star and make it any other kind. All right, so for this one, what I was playing with was putting, it comes with a tiny little envelope that you can place near your bird's mouth. Now, I probably should have cut this, now that I think about it. You know, all of our envelopes are white. So of course that's what I was thinking, but I probably should have cut it out of cloud cover or one of the other blues so that it would stand out more on this card. So what I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sending peace, joy, and love, because I think that's perfect when the bird has a card in its mouth. And this peace, joy, and love, I am using a retired block. I'm sorry, I hope you have one. But any of the others will work as well. It's just easier to hold on to for me. So you can center the peace, joy, and love right in the little edges of this die cut. So that they make it easy for you with that. And then your sending, you can put over here so that there's room for your bird on the other side or whatever appeals. I'm going to put my sending over here. Like that. So now I have sending, peace, joy, and love. And then this paper, I was going to show you this as well, or this paper. Either one would look really pretty with this on there. The only thing I was wanting to kind of show you is you could absolutely just have these guys on here like this and put at the bottom sending peace, joy, and love. For an even simpler card, you might still go ahead and add some gems to it to add some things, and you know, maybe even a star would be cute, because they're kind of our little tiny stars, little tiny flowers in this, or you could use one of these flowers. So my point of this is just, you know, you've got a lot of options that are, in my mind, very simple. They don't require a whole lot of thought. So, okay, that is an option. So I'm probably not going to finish that card. I want to try to be mindful of your time. But you could put it on this layer or on any of the layers. And you could put this, it would be really pretty with a white base as well. So lots of things to consider. I think I'm going to go ahead and use the Misty Moonlight. I'm going to wrap this in the silver. Oh, I think I wasn't thinking the silver. I think I was considering using, we have another Misty Moonlight ribbon that is in a like a pack that's special for new stampers or something. So that would be a nice one to just add a little detail that's not shimmery, because I think I was trying to do this card not quite as shimmery. Give it some variety. Run that down the sides and then fold over there. And I do love having on the back something that has a pattern that allows you to keep your ribbon straight. That is an extra bonus, I think. And then I just like to look at it on the front, make sure I agree that it is straight. And then a little bit more Stampin' Seal on each side. And then it's ready to go. There we are. And then you might want to put your, this is another one you could do the same way. You could just, let me show you real quick what I was thinking. You could just put this at the bottom and allow all of those at the top to really show. I would put this, probably this one on there. So another way to make a simple and quick Christmas card. But I'm gonna go ahead and mount this on there. Do my original thinking on it. Oops, got a little over to the side. There we are. I'm gonna pop that up on some dimensionals. I like to use 4 most of the time for rectangles, even if it's, you know, you could put it across here. Another thing I was going to mention about this, you could put a little bit of this, of the paper, like some of the scraps of paper, and add them on like that for a little more interest. Maybe just 2 pieces would look nice. And then just pop that on there as well for another look. All right, trying to do some simple cards for variety, because a lot of times I get kind of bogged down in things that may take a little too long for Christmas cards. So I do like to have choices that are quick and easy. Okay, so there's that. I'm gonna put my dove on, and then one of them I want to put, just kind of decide here what I'm gonna do. I want to put one with the branch, and the other I want carrying the envelope. So I have the envelope upside down. So there you can see me adding that. Then I would probably go in, there is a lot of white on this card, but I do like the idea of putting the white on the Peace, Love, and Joy layer, because I think this background is pretty busy. So if you're gonna have little embellishments, that might be the way to go. Maybe not the big one down there by the bird. Okay, there we are. So there you can see one possibility with that. And then going back again and reminding what we've already done, did the Sending Love like this, and then we did my, I guess you would call it my dumbed down version of Stampin' Up's card, just to keep you from, you know, having to, I think you would only make 3 from each piece of 12 by 12 paper with this one. I mean, I know, because it's 4 inches wide and doubles up on itself. But this one, you could make as many as you have glimmer paper for, which is going to be much, you know, probably 30 cards with just that little tiny piece of glimmer paper out of a 12 by 12 piece of glimmer paper. And so anyway, I think this just kind of echoes the same look, but gives you a less expensive and an easier option as well. So thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful Stampin' filled weekend. Bye-bye.